Hey, it's Nick. Today we are in Snapshot 17 week 6a, which is the first one in week 6 of 2017, which also happens to be the first snapshot for Minecraft update 1.12. Now it is not out yet. A snapshot is just the first version that they as in Mojang, so the company who makes Minecraft, output every single week with their newest updates and what they've been working on. And that's what I'm going to show you today. And the first change has to do with sheep. That's also why there's a gazillion of them around. And it has to do with their color of their wool. So, as you may remember or not, they used to look a little different, at least on their wool side. They're still chunky, still have the same face, but the wool doesn't look as rough anymore as it used to. Here's a picture so you can compare it. And also, if you take a look at the white sheep, it doesn't really look white anymore, but it has a grayish tint, which I guess is normal or a little more logical when the sheep are running around in the dirt all day, that they get a little dirty and are not the pearl white wool you would imagine. So yeah, that's the first change. And with the changed wool come new wool blocks as well. So if we go into our inventory, I'm in creative right now, so it all works a little more seamlessly and easily. I'm actually looking for the wool because they also changed up this creative inventory, but we've still got this search bar up there. So wool now looks like this. So it's a little different. It doesn't have as much dark color in it, and it's a little more harmonic, I guess, if you can say so. Okay, first change checked. So now let's go back to this little station I set up here. We're gonna get to that in a moment, but first let's take a look at these banners. Now there's nothing special to them, it's just regular banners, but still they have changed some more colors. It's not as contrasty, so there used to be some darker lines within these banners, but now they seem to have focused on one color and then just little derivations from each of those colors, so it all makes it look more uniform. When you have a red banner, you really have red and not red and black mix. I guess that kind of makes sense. So now on to the real changes. Color is easy to do, at least that's what I imagine. Here comes the fun part, which has to do with these three blocks. So in the real world, when you combine sand with gravel or any other coarse material, you get concrete, or at least the powder for concrete. And if you mix it up with water, you will get the solid concrete eventually when it dries up. And that's what Mojang has done. They have used, or they allow you to use now, some gravel and some sand. I think it's in this arrangement, not entirely sure. There we go. And let's see if it also works the other way around. So it looks similar to the TNT shape. Yeah, works both ways, so you're good. In the middle, you're gonna add some dye that you want your concrete powder to look like. So if we add green dye, of course it's gonna be green, and if you add bone meal into the middle, it will be white, and so on. And when we mix some of this concrete powder, it will behave like sand and gravel, quite obviously, because sand and gravel fall down. They have some gravity mechanics, which they should, because they're still sand and gravel, some powder, and then of course the powder also falls down, because why wouldn't it? And this does actually look somewhat radioactive. Reminds me of Mountain Dew or something. And yeah, if you want to build with this concrete powder, it's going to be a little difficult. Of course you can do it, but it's going to behave not nicely. You can leave it up in the air though. Here's a little trick, an anecdote, a tangent. If you have some string, which is right here, just place it underneath the block. This also works for sand and gravel, and then you will have it floating up there. But that's not the point. The point is that you can also turn this concrete powder into actual concrete, as I said, with water. So when this powder is placed next to water, or the water is placed next to the powder, it will turn into the solid block, and then you'll have to find a pickaxe, and then you can mine it, and you will have some concrete in the color that the sand was in. So it does look very, very nice. When we take a close look at it, we can also see that it's almost only green, but not entirely, because there are some new darker marks in there as well. Not sure if you can see it on the video, but if you check out the snapshot yourself, you will see it. So those look nice, but that's not all. Let's take a look at what has been smelting in the furnace here. I have been crafting some really fancy schmancy blocks. When I first looked at them in the creative inventory, I found this. This does look like some graphic issue or something, and I had to look at it for a few seconds before I realized this is actually a new block, which is Terracotta. Let's check that out, and I've got some more right here. And if we go into daytime again, we can actually see what we're doing. So Terracotta looks like this, and it has some strange placing mechanics, so whatever way you look at, it's also going to face. So if I look at it this way, it will make a shape like this. There we go. There's a nice shape. Reminds me of Star Wars and the robot thing, R2-D2, I think. I've never actually watched Star Wars. I've just heard of it. Yeah, you can make these floor patterns or wall patterns. I don't know if they're really cool or not, but it's definitely something different. It's a very, very colorful block, which we're not used to in Minecraft. Or, well, we have colors now. This goes into the one color direction, and then this one right here just goes all over the place. And I think it's a nice touch, but we're gonna have to get used to it at first. So let's place down some more. This is green. I wanted to say compost, but it's terracotta. Yeah, I have to get used to how this placing is done. It's probably very easy. There we go. Yeah, let's just do that. You can make some really funky shapes with all of these colors. So the yellow and the pink or magenta, blue, red, and there's some more colors. They all have different designs on them, which will give texture pack creators an even brighter palette, wider palette to work with, which will be really cool when you look at texture packs and all of that stuff. So yeah, one change. Now of course you want to know how to make this, because you cannot find this in the world as it is right now, because it doesn't grow anywhere like that, or at least I don't think so. What you have to do for that is you gotta have a furnace, and then take some clay, which you can get from clay mesa biomes, which you can then mine, of course, and put it into a furnace. And once that smelts down, it's gonna smelt into the terracotta block of the same color. So if we put an orange, we'll also get an orange terracotta pot. Yeah. It's more blue than orange, but well, that's not what I expected. Anyway, you get the idea. You get terracotta when you smelt down clay, and you get concrete powder when you put together sand and gravel. So it is logical, and you also learn something about real life, how stuff is done. And the next change that I want to share with you now has to do with the creative inventory. I gotta admit, I haven't really looked at this entirely because I don't really understand how it works, but I know what they want to do. So you have this thing right here now. That's why they also changed up this creative inventory a little bit, the order, which is kind of messing with my brain at the moment. But we now have this new section called Save Toolbars, and here we have these sheets of paper. And we can save this toolbar to this slot, and then so on. And if we press Control 1, for example, I'm doing that right now, it should theoretically save this hotbar or toolbar to that slot, but it doesn't really work that way, because when I put it out just like that and hit shift 1, nothing really happens, nothing comes back. But I guess it works if you put this into your inventory and not the hotbar. Let's try that out. So it's a little bit finicky at the moment, for me at least. Let's hit shift 1. No, nothing happens. I just move my arm like that. Control 1. Shift 1. See, it doesn't really do anything at the moment. So I'm gonna have to look into that, but I'm gonna update you definitely. So those were the main changes. Let's see if I forgot anything. Doesn't look like it. So we have a new base color, some new sheep wool blocks, we have concrete now, and we have terracotta. So when we, let's do that as the last thing we do. Let's take some green clay and then also some wool and compare the different blocks next to each other. So it's all lime, and then we have the texture of the wool right here, and then the texture of the hardened clay right there. Let's do that. And yeah, you can see we've got a really wide color palette now. It's probably gonna be a builder's update as it seems from the first snapshot, but you can always be wrong. Don't judge a book by its cover, I guess. And this is just 1.12's cover, which, yeah, has some new colors, some new blocks, and I'm looking forward to a new update because it's definitely needed. We need something interesting in the game. Do you agree or do you disagree? What do you think about this snapshot and the update that's going to come in the near future? And that's pretty much it from me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you want to keep updated on the new updates and find out some cool stuff that I share with you, then subscribe, leave a like if this video was helpful or you liked it in any other way, and we'll see us next time. Bye bye.